Boom. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. This is Craig Blanchett, and I'm back, part of the team, back from a few weeks of travel and a bunch of fun. And we are doing our Jumpstart for the month of July. And basically, what that is for some of you, we've got a lot of new faces here. Every month at the beginning, the first Monday of the month, we celebrate the new people that have joined us, breakthroughs, personal breakthroughs, new ranks, people that gotten certified, anything, any new growth. And because when you have growth, it's because you've usually grown personally. And so we want to celebrate those types of things with the whole team. One of the things, there develops this thing called push-pull. And that's just a slang term for when you see somebody else growing. And I know when Irv came on board and everybody saw Irving and all this energy and activity that he was doing, it inspired a bunch of you to say, what's my deal? Hey, I need to get on the stick. Irv's leaving me behind, right? So that's that push pull effect. And sometimes what will happen when you see somebody growing is you start to compare yourself thinking that you're never going to be good. Both of those things are opportunities to grow from, because what you need to do is compare who you currently are to who you want to be. And that's the best comparison of all. And then take action in order to do that. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to start with a little slideshow here. But before we get to that, I want to take a minute and see if there are any guests that have joined us today. It looks like everybody here is familiar. Perfect. Well, good to see you all. Lynn Ann, you have a new hairdo, so it looks like you're new, but welcome. It looks great on you. All right, so let me get my slideshow going here, and I'm going to run through a few things, and then we're going to do a little Q&A if we have some time at the end. And I want to make sure that I don't always catch everything. Some of the reports, I miss people. And so if you, as we go through these, if you've hit like a rank and you're not on the list, will you please just chime in and say, hey, I achieved this rank. I hit this, I did that kind of thing. So I may have missed some of you in my reports, and it's not personal, it's not intentional. Let's make sure we clear that up and cover it. So without further ado, does everybody see Jumpstart 2018? Is that on the screen? Perfect. See a little Jumpstart? That was because I have a 1-year-old granddaughter. So that's, kind of that kid thing. Jumpstart. All right. So the first thing is we're going to talk a little bit about ranks for some of you that may know these things. Some of you may not. But this is brand new coach to an executive director. We start out when you actually purchase your kit, you technically have the ability to help people. But until you're actually coaching somebody, you're not technically coaching yet. You're preparing. So what we want to do is we really want to focus on this first rank here of senior coach. So as you decide to become a coach, your first goal, if you want to help people, is to actually help people. And so we set the first goal as a senior coach. And what that does, as a senior coach, we actually coach either 100% or it's a team coaching for the first 5 clients. And what we're doing is we're transferring the skills necessary to get someone into fat burn and basically through the first month. And so we're going to do a majority of the coaching as the mentor coach when you decide to be a coach. So our job is to help you build those skills to be senior coach. And then once you go also at $1,200 in frontline volume, you get what we call 1 point. And it takes 5 points to be an executive director. And so you can get there with frontline volume or having senior coaches on your team. We're going to talk a little bit more about that because strategically, it makes sense to go what we call blended path, where you have a few senior coaches and you have frontline clients that you're working with. That's the best way to do it. So we got manager, associate director, director, and executive director. And so some of the things you'll see is people will have gone from, let's say, an associate director all the way to executive director. That means they've grown by $2,400 in frontline volume. Take 2,400 divided by 300. That's how many clients. So they make, usually there's like a big push and a lot of momentum when you jump a rank. All right. Make sense, everybody? Yep. So the goal of what I'm showing you here is we don't bring on coaches, we bring on senior coaches, because then you know how to coach. And then you can either get to executive director by frontline volume or senior coaches or a blending of the two. Now, without further ado, here are the new coaches. Diane Hauser has joined Team Carpenter. So we're really excited about that. One of the neat things about that particular situation is Kelly and Dawn have both quit their JOBs of many years and are now full-time health coaches. I say full-time pay, but not necessarily full-time hours, right, guys? And what's happened here is Dawn has been coaching for years, and she's brought on many people, but Diane is Kelly's first coach. So Kelly's basically building his own team and his own proficiencies, because Dawn's a few years ahead and has been doing this more intently for a while. So what the neat thing about this is part of Team Carpenter, but it's Kelly's client that has moved over to be a coach now. So that's really exciting. So congratulations on Team Carpenter. By the way, there's some amazing stuff happening over there in Spokane. So much growth on that team. It's remarkable. And actually, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So Diane Hauser, new coach, new senior coach, Matt Fransconi, which is he's part of Irving's team. He hit senior coach, which means he actually has at least 5 clients, right? So great job, Matt. We're excited to see what's going to happen in the future for you as well. Irv's putting up some serious activities and starting to build. I remember last month or 2 months ago, Irv said, I'd like to start building a team. I like to really invest in duplicating myself so that more people get healthy. And I was like, well, you need to bring on a team. So he had a couple. He has Dan Ortiz, which is here tonight, Rita. He had a few coaches that were on board. And now he's like, let's build a big team. He's got a big heart for people. And so Irv's really inspiring lots of folks to join us. Bottom line, we can't coach as many people as need our help by ourselves. So we really do need to train other people so that the work becomes, we can have more effect on the world. All right. Consistency bonus. So Trisha, one of the neat things about that Doug Wood said, he said, one of the neat things about coaching as a client is getting someone into fat burn. It's really exciting, when you guys hit fat burn for the first time and you felt this awesome thing. Well, fat burn for coaching is when you get paid. And when you see this consistency bonus pop in there, I mean, we're not coaching for free. We got to pay the bills. And so getting this consistency bonus, this means Trisha has been able to maintain $2,000 in frontline volume average for 3 months in a row. Now, if you maintain $4,000 in frontline volume, it's $500. And if you maintain 6,000 average for 3 months in a row, it's $1,000. So that's basically ED by volume, 6,000. You get an extra $4,000 a year if you maintain that for the whole year. So it's nice to help people and put some consistency into things. So well done, Trisha. Good job. And we have some folks that have gotten certified. One of the benefits of certification is that you're more versed in the habits of health system. And secondary, that gives you a little bit more confidence in what you're doing and the way that you're doing it. And so, Casina, way to go. Way to give yourself a raise, girl, right? And Trisha as well gave herself a raise. When you are certified, you get 3% more every time you get paid on your frontline volume. So that's a simple way to get a paycheck increase. I'm curious, actually, talking a little bit, Casina and Trisha. I'd love to have you guys. Casina, why don't you go first? What was the certification process like for you, and what did you feel like the value after you did it was? And I'll unmute you if I can. Yep, there it happened.
Yeah. Well, I know you and I have been talking about the importance of really being knowledgeable on the habits of health and being able um, to be very professional with coaching in that way and knowing my stuff. So that was the first thing that I was really thinking about. And then I checked in on the weekly Saturday morning call, and it was all about how the pay system works, which I really didn't know or understand. So second factor there was, hey, I could be making more money and why not? So I signed up for the certification, the knowledge, the system in simple systems. And so I went through the materials, and at first I thought, okay, there's no way like I'm really going to have to spend, so I thought several weeks or months consuming this information, but I didn't realize how much I'd absorbed over the last several months just in listening to Habits of Health webinars, talking with you, coaching with you, just all these other areas that I was getting that information. So I was like, wow, okay, I really know a lot more of this than I thought I did. So I went ahead and took the exam and passed.
So your confidence probably went up, didn't it? You're like, wow.
Yeah, for sure.
And see, basically the way this system, it's called micro habits, we kind of slip them in there almost that you don't even realize it's happening. So it doesn't feel like a lot of work. And then you look back and like, man, I know a lot more than I thought I knew. Yeah. And by the way, it's not that you just get more money. You actually improved your skill set and earned a pay raise. That's what you did. Nice work, Casina.
Yeah.
All right. Trisha, tell me a little bit about your experience with getting certified. There you go.
It was similar to Casina's. I had planned on doing it anyways. I just did it quicker than I had planned. I thought it was going to take me 2 or 3 days to get to know the material. And so I saw that the exam, you had unlimited chances, so I just did it. And like Casina said, it was a lot of the information I had already learned through all the trainings and coaching with Carrie and Dawn and you, even listening to these calls. So I was kind of surprised when I passed it the first time because I didn't realize how much information I had already absorbed. And you're completely right about the confidence. It's crazy how just knowing that information and knowing that you know it helps when talking to people. And I've talked to a lot of people in the last couple of days, so it feels natural now, not so much nerve-wracking or overwhelming.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. So if those of you want to get certified, sometimes it makes sense to get certified right away. Sometimes it makes sense to wait a little bit. And that's one of the things you can actually connect with your mentor and say, tell me, when do you think would be a good time for me to do it? And if you're really amped up about it and you want to do it, I say go do it. But ideally, you want to make sure you do it as you're transitioning to executive director. You want to be certified because there's a lot of benefits of being certified and executive director. One of those is that you qualify for the lead pool. And we get leads that come through the advertising and the different marketing stuff that Optavia does. And so you get put in that pool. And one of the qualifications is $6,000 in frontline volume. I think it's 10,000. It's certification. You have to have a premier order every month. I think those are the primary three things. So, all right. So that's what certification is about. So connect with your coach if you think that might be something that would be good for you. Next up, we have the 10K Club. So this is folks that have, and we'll talk about the competencies. The first competency is getting to senior coach. The next one is blended ED. And then from blended ED, you move up to FIBC and then frontline volume. Once you get above 10,000 in frontline volume, you've got some buffer because 6,000 is the minimum to be executive director by volume. Well, when you're running $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 in frontline volume, there's some buffer. You're not scrambling at the end of the month trying to hit your numbers so that you can, get the most return on your time. And so these are some folks that have done that. Daniela, of course, Dawn and Kelly Carpenter, and Kim Stewart. So those are the folks. I'm in this club too. I just don't usually talk about my numbers, but so this is what I found was interesting is I run between 14 and 18,000 in frontline volume historically. Some folks on the Preston Bach team, there was 5 people that were over 20K in frontline volume. One of them was 28,000. And I thought to myself, 28,000 seems like a big number. Wow. 20,000 seems like a big number. And then I saw a bunch of people doing it. And I'm like, well, maybe I can help more people, right? So I want to encourage you guys. Are you setting the bar at a comfortable pace? Or are you challenging yourself to help a lot of people? Imagine if you were outside of Optavia and you were struggling with your health and somebody said, I'm going to help 10 people this month. And you were one of them. You were the lucky person that got that phone call. And you said, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you called. And now you got to see this community and the structure of what we do here and how it's real. Imagine being on the other side. Oh, how grateful we would be. So another thing to think about there. All right. And now we've got celebrating a new executive director. So Sharon and Hal Green are new executive directors, and I would love to have Dawn give just a little bit of an intro. I know there's quite a lineage of healthy people that are part of Sharon and Hal's support team. So Dawn, would you tell us a little bit about Sharon kind of coming involved here, and then we'll toss it to her. And I've got a few questions I want to talk with Sharon through so she can share some of the magic. Dawn Hurst, actually. Sorry. There's a lot of Dawns on here, aren't there?
It's like me, Dawn, or Dawn?
It's
Dawn?
the Spokane Dawns.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say that Sharon was actually invited by Randy or Cheryl and Randy Rich, and they are my clients. But I've talked to them a couple times in the last few days, and they really wanted to be here on this call and then be a little more involved. But they are doing life and having so much fun with their family this summer. So I just want to pass on to you, Sharon, that they are just ecstatic and so happy for you. And I know you've talked to them too, but they just again tonight wanted me to pass on along that they were sorry they couldn't be here on the call. So, but I think that just proves that it just takes, all of us just sticking next to one another and being there to support each other, no matter what your rank is or where you are in the lineup. We all need each other. So Sharon's a prime example of that. I think she's been getting it from every angle, and as you can see, it works. I mean, she is out there just living life out loud, and she does such a fabulous job at she has a golden heart. She has a love for Christ. She has a love for people, and all of that shines through in how she presents herself as an Optavia coach, and a person in general. So I just can't say enough wonderful, positive things about her. She's had an influence on me, getting to know her through Randy and Cheryl in this process, and on all of us here in Spokane. I think she has actually lit a little bit of a fire under each of us, and I think that's good. So thank you, Sharon, and we should all be very proud of her. So round of applause.
All right. Yes. Good job, Sharon. So a couple things. We love to interview folks. And oddly enough, as you hear enough people achieving executive director or achieving new ranks, helping more people, oddly enough, it's pretty much the same things you did to get to senior coach, right? You just go senior coach 4 times and you're executive director. So Sharon, I'd love to hear just a little bit about some of the changes that you've seen and some of the just the realities of now helping more people than you've helped before. By the way, Sharon went from associate director, leapfrogged over director, and went all the way to executive director. So welcome, Sharon.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay, everybody?
Yeah.
I wish you would have given me notice on this question, Craig. I don't think fast on my feet.
That's okay.
But yeah, it's busy for one thing, but it's all good. You know, what I usually spend my day doing is I'm a certified biblical counselor. So now I get to see people transform body and soul, and that's really cool, you know, and some are in both camps, you know. But yeah, it's been really great, and for me, it's just been a matter of taking care of people that have a desire after they've watched my husband and I and others we've helped, and so yeah, it's been a huge blessing.
That's great.
Very
That's
big.
great. Is there a specific story about coaching that just you light up when you think about it? What's one of your favorite experiences?
Oh wow, just one.
Wow.
I mean, we get just as thrilled for the people that we're helping as we were for ourselves. You know, when you just see it realized in someone else, it's motivating, right? But I can't help but think about the lady I just talked to today, who is got a lot of weight, over 100 pounds probably, and has a daughter in a wheelchair that is severely disabled, gets maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night. And she bought her kit today, and I can't wait to see how this is going to change her life. I mean, I'm just anticipating and hopeful for her, you know. And I can't wait to spend time with her, you know, and just really coach her through this process.
So good. So I want to just give all of the team here, do you guys have a question for Sharon, or even just a comment? Go ahead and unmute yourself and let's jump in and glean from some of Sharon's so real and so practical knowledge about helping people. Who wants to go first? No secrets, huh? Okay. Yeah, Kelly, let me unmute you. Go for it, Kelly. Let's see. Well, you might have to unmute yourself. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Sharon, you just got amazing heart and way to connect with people. So kind and gentle, and, you know, and you're just a natural. So just
Well,
wanted to
I had good coaching models, so
yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. Great. Anybody else have a word of encouragement or possibly a question for Sharon? All right. Okay. Well,
I'm glad there's no questions.
yeah, no question. It's what's interesting though, with the training they just had on Saturday, you probably are working with around 17 to 20 people now, right? And
Sounds about
so,
right.
yeah. And so when you look at those lists, they taught us on Saturday that there's probably, let's say you have 20 people, that means there's 4 coaches there. And so you get out your magnifying glass and you start looking at the clients that are there, because there's 4 people that want to help other people in there statistically. And so so now it's about finding them. And I think you have coaches that you're working with yet?
I have one,
What?
and she's been gone, and
Yeah.
she's back down now. So
Great.
we're gonna start.
So we'll make sure we partner up and do some team coaching with her and help to transfer the skills to you so that you could transfer them to her. And because we definitely we all want to be playing from the same skill rule book so that we all know, so we're all successful. Let's just copy what the successful people do. And that's what we're trying to do. So,
Yeah.
so if you've got 1 out of 20, that means there's 3 more out there. And it's like, ooh,
Yeah, I got my eye on a couple of them too.
Perfect.
So
That's so great. Thank you so much, Sharon. I was literally just talking with Dawn and Kelly Carpenter about you, and I said, we've got to, like, Sharon, she's on the hunt here. She's going for it. And then 2 days later, boom, you were within 2 people of hitting this executive director thing. And I was like, okay, well, how about them apples? And so it's so exciting to be able to. Do you realize how far in the family tree you are away from me?
no.
Yeah. Well, so it would go me and then Dawn and Kelly. I'm their direct coach, right? And then from Dawn and Kelly, it goes to Carrie Armstrong. And then from Carrie, I believe it goes to Dawn Hurst.
Yes.
Yep. And then Dawn, it goes to Cheryl and Randy. And Cheryl and Randy goes to you. So look at the family tree there. That how would I have ever met you? I don't know how I would have ever met you, right? But here we are. Now we're family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love to see how those things happen. So anyway, congratulations on making a
Thank
difference
you.
in so many people's lives. Because you
Thanks for all your help, everybody. So.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So I got a couple of things here. There are 3 competencies. We talked about this earlier: senior coach, a blended executive director, and then moving on to FIBC. We're going to talk a little bit about what is FIBC. So FIBC, fully integrated business coach, which means you have 6,000 in frontline volume, right? So that's around 17, 18 clients. But it also means that you have executive director, you're executive director by volume, and you're executive director with senior coaches. So basically, you have redundancy or backup. So when you have 5 senior coaches and you have 6,000 frontline volume, that's when you're an FIBC. And it is a very powerful place to be. So that is one of the next things with competing. So if you're not a senior coach yet, your next competency is helping 5 people. And I recommend getting after that with some vigor, because you'll build momentum, and momentum is really beneficial. And once you've hit senior coach, set the next goal, right? So you have 5 clients. Well, 1 out of those 5 clients is a potential coach. So you're figuring that out while you're continuing to help people. Then you go blended executive director. And then your next competency is to move on to FIBC. So excellent. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to take just a few minutes here. We're just about done, and see if because I'm sure there's other things that you guys have to celebrate, a personal victory. I know Dawn had some things that we were talking about recently about now that she's fully retired and some of the blessings that her and Kelly are having. And so maybe she'll share those. But I'm curious, what are some other things that you guys are celebrating? Something you learned, something you've done, maybe a new milestone on your health journey. But I'd love to hear from you. As we'll just take a few minutes and go through that, and then we'll close up for the night. Who wants to go first? Yeah, Dawn, hi. Let me see if my unmute will work. It won't. I think that Zoom basically took away the ability to unmute people. I don't know why.
I'm
But hi,
unmuted
Dawn.
now.
The Spokane Dawns. What's up?
One thing that I want to tell you was on Saturday, you had said you can do nothing and end up with the same result, or you can reach out and, hopefully get somebody to respond to, something that you've put out there. And I sent out a few messages, and a friend of mine that was interested a few weeks ago said, yes, I would love to have lunch with you. And so we're having lunch on Thursday, and we're going to discuss her health and see, hopefully she'll be willing and ready to sign up. So thank you for that.
Hope for her and for you. So just for those of you that may or may not have been there, after the Saturday training, we do a little recap, just a little dog pile powwow here. And we're going to have our next one this Saturday. And one of the things that we did is Dawn Weber has 4 clients, and she's been at 4 clients for a couple of months. So she's 1 client away from hitting a new rank, getting a little bit more commissions, and being senior coach, right? And so I said, no, you can choose, because she had some things planned for the day. I said, you can choose to just go on with your plans. But what if you just made 1 call? There's a potential that you'd make a connection. And what if this person, you gave them hope that they didn't have before? And so Dawn is basically saying, I decided to just do it. And now she's going to meet with this person. And who knows, one day maybe we'll get to meet them, and you all know who we were talking about. So each one of you is here because we were thinking about you. We cared about you. We were wondering, I wonder if they're as healthy as they want to be. And then at some point we found out, they're not. Well, let's do this together. So thank you, Dawn, for sharing that. Thank you for taking the action, not for my benefit or, quite frankly, your benefit, but for the person you connected with this benefit. Yeah, way to go. Was it a little scary? Oh.
No, because it was Messenger that we contacted. She can't really yell at me in Messenger.
Yeah. Most people aren't going to yell at you for trying to care for them, right? So especially trying to connect. So way to go, Dawn. The future is bright, and you're doing things that you've never done before, which means you're going to help people you've never helped before. So way to go. Thanks for your inspiration. Who else has something to celebrate? Irv, I know you're bringing amino acids.
Have a little something, but so I've been, over the last month, Craig, I've been trying those amino acids.
Yeah. And
with them, kind of a funny thing's been happening. My goal was to get down to 160 pounds, and my body, for whatever reason, I'm shrinking, but my weight is going up. My clothes, so I'm putting my clothes on, and I think I'm down to about a 30-inch waist, but I'm 191 pounds, and I'm gaining muscle mass. It's just the weirdest thing. So I had gone back on the 5-1 and went in a fat burn, and I'm just gaining muscle like crazy. And the joint issues, the rotator cuff issues that I had, after about 3 days of being on this program, I was able to go back into bench pressing, and I'm being careful because I'm scared, but I'm in there and I'm lifting, and the pain is not there in my rotator cuffs. As a matter of fact, all of that inflammation is pretty much gone. So kind of took it to the next level. I went ahead and ordered those pills that for joints, and I'm really excited about, I wish there was a way to overnight them things, because I want to try them. But I'm gaining a lot of lean muscle mass and losing a lot of fat. And it's just it's just a paradox. It's just the craziest thing, but it's real.
Yep. So what Irv's talking about is, as an athlete, I've been pushing the envelope for exercise with the 5-1, exercise in a fat burn state, different types of things. And I like to do more exercise. And many of my clients want to do more exercise. And so I've been working with a couple other coaches, and I've been personally experimenting on myself, and my wife have been guinea pigs. And we have found a solution that allows you to work out more using this branch chain amino acids. And if you want to know more about that, or you have somebody that is an avid athlete but is overweight, connect with me and we'll do a 3-way meeting and we will talk about these kinds of things, because we have found a solution. And one of the neat things about it, just like Irv, he said he had some shoulder pain, right? And so I was like, well, let's get you taking these a branched chain amino acids, which ends up building protein inside your body. So instead of eating protein, it makes it inside your body. And it's phenomenal. And so I've got my wife, my mom, Stephanie, is about to start. Daniela, a number of people, Alex. I've been working with a lot of people that have had joint pain or shoulder pain or some stuff, nagging injury that won't go away. And these amino acids seem to be giving the body what it needs in order to heal itself. And so now Irv's growing strong, decreasing inflammation, and burning fat. And so if you want to know more about that, you know how to connect with me, and I'm happy to basically anytime any of you would want to have a client that you feel like using my expertise would be of value, it is completely appropriate, because I'm your team leader. I'm the global director, and you can reach up to me perfectly fine. So I'd be happy to help you and support you, not just in those ways anyway, quite frankly. So good job, Irv. Everyone that I've recommended this modified sort of advanced 5-in-1, what I call it a performance 5-in-1, everybody has said that their joint pain has gone away. 100%, either hip pain or joint pain. Actually, Kelly's been using it as well for his pickleball shoulder. And so that's getting better as well. So, all right, guys. Well, congratulations on everything you guys are doing. Next week, we're going to be teaming up with Terry. Sometimes she cancels her meetings at the last minute, but what I want to do is start tapping you guys into the greater community and Terry Miller and her Monday meetings. So next week, the first Monday of the month, we're still going to meet as a team, but we're going to try for a little time here of connecting with Terry and learning from her and getting some of her input and from that bigger team. So next week we will be joining with Terry, and we'll let you know. Actually, the number, you probably heard the song if you're a little bit older, 8675309, Jenny, right? So 8675309-111, and that's Terry Miller's Zoom room. So we'll be meeting in her. You just add the 3 ones at the end, and you're there. All right, you guys. Hope this has been beneficial. Congratulations for everybody that you helped in June. Looking forward to see the push-pull for the month of July. And we've got convention coming up, and I really hope you make that a point to show up there. So we will see you guys next time we see you. Take care, everybody.